top of the script. Yes, we're there. So, and yeah, so we say from decouple import config, right? So that's what we want. And no, I'm just config. Okay, nothing else. And then in the same folder as our, I guess we can call it our project folder, we can now create a .env file, right? It's an environmental file, and it is what we're going to use for what do you call it? For loading in our environmental variables, right? And then I'm also gonna just for my user state of import OS, all right? And I'm not sure if maybe pathlib might be Python core module, so I'll just put this below there so we don't mix things up. All right, cool. First things first, in my environmental file, I'm going to create something like this. I'm going to say, and let me just hide that. Okay, cool, because it's taking too much space. I'm going to call it secret key, and then I'm going to say it's equals to something, right? And then I also want the debug status or boolean and template debug, right? Okay, cool. So now I'm now going to go to, where is it? We're going to go to settings.py. I'm going to take this, that's all I need. And I'm going to put you here. I'm going to put you here. I'm going to put you here. Okay. So then I go back to my settings.py, and then I would just say, I think I'll use this because I like that. I'll say config and look for the secret key. Okay. So now Django will be able to read the value from our environmental file, and we don't have to post all of this to GitHub, right? For those of you who might want to post to GitHub, and I'm going to say debug as well, debug. And we're going to tell it the default is false, right? The high spell default. I think so. Default is equals to false, and we're going to cast it to bool. All right, and then I gotta look for the other one, which is templates. Template debug. Let's see. Cool. Other one is template debug. Where do you see that? It's not here. We might also want to put our database, but when we get to that level, we'll do that. But right now, we're going to use just the default static py. Okay, great. Now, with that being done, I now also want to include my templates, right? Remember we spoke about templates? I'm going to include a template in my project file, and I'm also going to have one in the, what do you call it? In the application file. So I have templates. And then I'm also going to have, so what's going to go with templates, and then the name of the application is going to be called, what is it called? Drones, right? So that's what we have, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So we have templates and cool. And then we also have static, right? And we're going to have static with static. Again, the static will hold all our static files, CSS and whatnot. And we're going to have static. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now that I've done that, I need to ensure that Python will be able to find it, or rather Django will be able to find it. So I'm just going to do project dir, right? And then we're going to say it is templates, right? And it should know project dir, doesn't? Cool. So project dir should just be this one, if I'm not mistaken. That should be project dir. Okay. And we can call it and let's see, project. Go. Result got parent. So now we've got project dir. So that's a directory. That's our application. So now it knows that. The next thing that we would like to do, so what have we done? We've created our static files, static folder to store our static files, created our application, we've registered it in setting.py. We've introduced the environmental variables. now, and we've also created our static and template folders um for the application. So now it's time for us to get the content, right, from this template and start pasting it into here. All right. So I will begin that now. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we have the template, and on the right, we have our Django application. So as you can see, this is our images, which is going to go into our static files. We have our scripts, we have our styles, and we have the main index, right? So this is the index page. And what I want to do with the index page is I'm going to use it in our projects and create a space.html that we can extend from, right? And to do that, I'm just going to copy everything here. Okay. Yeah, that's just the control. Okay. Once that is done, we're going to do that. Okay. And paste it there. All right. So that is the index page or base HTML, right? However, if I was to go to Python manage.py run server, so it can run our server, you'll see that nothing's actually going to show. Great. What does it say? Cannot import name from the couple. Why not? Okay, let's just do that again. And that is it again. All right, so I think I will change something from that. All right, so okay, so what happened was I had to do a quick Stack Overflow. I installed uninstalled the couple and installed Python hyphen the couple, right? And now we're gonna write let's try it now, Python manage.py. Oh, do something. Run server, right? And okay, tell me that. Okay, so that's that. So let me just change that. See. Great, so it's not doing that. That should be true. And great, so that is that. So so it's running. So let me just run Python manage.py make did I say migrate in this instance? Yeah. Great. So it created some applications, authentication, and all of that, but we'll get into that. So now we've created our base HTML. However, we've not even touched the URLs, we've not touched for the application. So let's go to the application, right? Of which is called drones, and let's create a file called urls.py, right? And in there, I'm just going to copy some of this. I'm going to say, actually, let's say from Django dot urls import path. We'll use this. And then I'm going to say URL patterns. Thank you very much. I'm going to say path and I'm going to say something. Okay, but I don't even have the name. I don't have a function yet. Okay, so let's just create that, right? Just going to call that, and then just go to my views, create a view. Okay, then we have views, and I'm just going to say define index. I think it takes a request, right? And then friends, or just say pass, right? Just don't do anything, okay? From there, we are now going to start going into that. So to do that, let me go back to URLs, and we're now going to import and say from dot import views, all right? And then I can now say, if you see this, so do views dot, what I call index, all right? I just point at it, and I'm going to call it name is equals to index, and cool. Alrighty. So let us try and run that again. We shouldn't get anything per se, because we don't even have a template there, right? So that's what we'll be building now. And if I click on this, just want to see where it'll load up. And cool. Pause. All right, so our server is up and running. So now we know that it is cutting. Okay, cool. Let's move on to our templates. So the next step is to start working on the templates.